The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply. USAA.
Vitamin Water was born in New York because New Yorkers wanted more. Like more flavor to go with all the flavor. A refreshing drink after climbing 6 flights of stairs to a walk-up apartment, or standing in the subway station in 100-degree heat. Focus when I have an 8-hour shift, and Triple X after I was out all night at a club. Call Triple X. Drink vitamin water. It's from New York.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops, the August edition. I'm always smiling and happy in August. It's not school hasn't started yet. You know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to do the math for the listeners. I'm starting to do the retirement math. Sent it to my brother. I know he doesn't listen to these, but yeah, we're trying to do the burn rate right now. He's trying to figure out what my burn rate's going to be in retirement. It's actually a hard mathematical problem.
Not for you. You live in Wisconsin. It's easy.
Yeah, but the burn rate is like you're going to spend more early, but then you spend more late. I read somewhere you spend $150K on Medicare, Medicaid. That's the average.
What? Through
your life after you get to 65 on, because Medicare, Medicaid isn't free. Right. You still have to pay part of it, and the average is $150K.
Here's your retirement plan. It's easy.
Coaching youth. Okay?
Well, besides the work aspect of it, you sell your house where you are now.
Yes.
Move to your cabin.
Yes.
Everything's cheaper up there.
Yes.
Property taxes are going to be cheaper.
Yep.
Life is going to be easier.
Yeah.
That's boom, done. There you go. That's your retirement plan. Your burn rate goes way down. You fish all day.
I would fish all day. All right. So before we're doing picking an offense, because all of you know that already, because you've read the title to the podcast before you clicked on it.
That's why you tuned in.
That's why you tuned in.
What are they going to say? They don't want to hear about your retirement plan.
Before we do that, though, you'll notice, those of you that are watching on YouTube, that Bill and I are matching twinsies today because of Game Changer. We love Game Changer, right, Coach?
Yeah, our amazing sponsor. Thank you to Game Changer for sponsoring and making this content available to you. If you haven't checked out Game Changer, please do go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. It should be one tool that you use throughout the season to record games, keep track of your game. What am I trying to say, Coach? Your game schedule. Your game schedule.
And grandma can watch it. Grandma can watch it in Montana,
no matter where she is. That's right. So go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops to find out more information.
She will need better internet connection than Coach Bill, because he lives in the Bay Area and I have faster internet in Wisconsin. How does that happen? Like,
you also have cheaper gas, and literally I could throw a stone at the refinery. That is just short period. So they can't say it's transportation.
Well, that's not good.
It's just taxes.
Close to a refinery.
Taxes.
Like, if that thing starts on fire, you're toast.
Well, I shouldn't say throwing stuff, but it's 30 miles away.
Oh, it's 30 miles away. Okay, that's
in the grand scheme of things. That's close.
That's a long stone, Coach.
I got a strong arm,
I
bud.
usually say like, the person lives 2 drivers away from me, and my driver's like
Oh,
150 yards, but it's like
okay.
your stone's
No.
throw is 30 miles. That's impressive. All right. So we're going to talk about picking an offense.
Picking an offense,
Is this the
yes.
most asked question, you think?
It is definitely one of those in the top 10 is really just choosing an offense for your team going into the season, halfway through the season, whatever. There's so many choices, and if you're new or even if you're an experienced coach, i- how do you know what to run, right? Um, and hopefully by the end of this podcast, we'll have a lot of those questions answered, or at least give you some guiding principles to help you choose an offense. How
Give
did you
me,
pick? Well, I was gonna say, how do you pick one from year to year, season to season, decade to decade, whatever it is? Day one. I know it's different when you started coaching to what it is right now, but are you more principle based with meaning you come up with a motion offense and then with the motion offense you just have a bunch of rules, or are you looking at your personnel coming in and saying, okay, oh gosh, we got a dominant post player, so I'm gonna go 4 out, 1 in motion or something else or flex or whatever it might be, or
I
blitz.
I think I tend to look at personnel. It tends to be my biggest shift, but I can tell you I've in previous years, within the last 4 or 5, I've had something picked out, tried it, and it didn't work. And
Oh,
I've had to
interesting.
scrap it and go back and try something, which is really hard to do.
Right.
It's like building a plane while you're flying it kind of thing. Um, not an easy task. Uh, I think everyone has some basic principles, but if you're a bunch of small guards, you're going to do something different than if you have, the 6'7" long, lanky kid that can reverse dunk. I mean, I think you got to fit your personnel. Um, so as a math teacher, I think there's a little bit of a algorithm with that. Like, yeah, we can do A, B, but we can't do C. So C eliminates these offenses.
Hmm.
Now I'm down to these set because we can do A, B pretty well. Well, what of those do we specifically do well or not do well? Because the key to any offense is you want to accentuate. That's like life. You want to accentuate the positive and hide the negatives. uh, we don't do
Right,
this. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. Well, and then think about from a youth perspective is generally speaking, I'm going to throw this out, see if you agree with this or not. Generally speaking, for a youth offense, and we're talking third grade through eighth, is the type of offense you run, generally speaking, if it or the like the name brand offense that you're going to go see if you search in, right?
Name
If it's a
brand means
flex, a 4 out, 1 in, a five. And these are more sets, but maybe the blitz, a dribble drive,
the rule.
etc. It that the offense itself doesn't matter too much. It's you can come up with whatever offense you want. You have to have players that can do X, Y, and Z within that offense. Um, and just some of the fundamentals they have to learn to run any offense. So don't think that the offense you choose is going to make you win more games. What do you think about that? In that great in the youth
Like
level.
you're preaching. Um, I agree. Um,
High school might be different, but
high school's different.
yeah.
Um, I definitely think it's not. I think it's some of the skill sets. Can they dribble? Can they pass? Can they shoot? Can they score on their own? Do you have a team that needs the offense to score rather than like I was talking to a coach the other day and
Yeah.
he kind of needed the offense to help him score more than anything else.
I mean
Um,
the offense type.
the actual like motion or the movement or the screening, because they didn't have anybody that could create on their own. And again, they were young. So sometimes it's like the movement in this positioning is going to be important for the kids, I think. Like they can't score on their own.
Right. And that's where you get into the details of, okay, what type of offense am I going to choose? Do I have shooters or no shooters? Do I have guards? Do I have how is my talent level overall?
Right. And that's where you got to watch. That's where you got to watch film, and Game Changer would come into play, right, Coach?
Game Changer would come in, gc.com/coaching youth hoops to find out more on that.
Anyway, that's a perfect, because it's true. Because I'm gonna age myself, but when my kids were little, we had those little cassette tapey things, and grandma or somebody would be taping, and then I'd have to go home and watch it to figure out, we can't, or what I used to do too is, and this is where Game Changer would come into play, is you could set it up in the corner and just tape practice.
Yeah. Right.
Grandma could watch practice too, but it's more like, well, maybe we can't shoot outside 3 feet. Well, we're gonna need to get an offense where, maybe we're always attacking the rim or something like that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely that's absolutely right. I mean, I think what's important there is to think, what do I believe in as a coach as well? Right? Like what's my philosophy when it comes to offense? You brought up a really good point, is maybe these two things aren't related, but I played against a team that their offense was their defense because they caused a lot of turnovers. They ran the basics of a run and jump, full court press the entire game. Now, if you could break that press and get them into their half court offense, you had a chance to actually win, because it wasn't so good. But their full court press was amazing. So let's get, again, like refocus here back on how to pick an offense. Do you pick an offense, or does the offense pick you based on what you just?
It's kind of like, it's like Hogwarts, it's the sorting hats or whatever they called it. They pick the hat picks which house you're going to live in. It's similar to your players help you pick, hopefully, what offense. You've got all these guys that can shoot threes. You've got all the guys that can dribble but not really shoot. You've got guys that are really basketball. They know how to screen. They maybe run a structure. Do you run a flex? They kind of know how to do reads. And I mean, it just really will depend on, that specific set of players. I think they'll point you to the right direction in picking an offense.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right in that case. But let's talk about what we created for coaches. I mean, because again, this is a subject that comes up quite a bit. So we created a tool to help you find an offense for your team based on your team dynamics. Again, some of the things that you'll see when you go there, and it's at youthbasketballoffense.com. Again, go to youthbasketballoffense.com, check it out, and it'll ask you a series of questions about your team.
If the URL doesn't work, let us know. But
yeah,
I'm teasing Coach Bill right now, because we've been working on the URL and it's been a little glitchy. But
a little glitchy when we first set it up.
But we're gonna make it work, because you know what? We're gonna put in the time for all of you. That's what we're gonna do. Fingers crossed. If not, I don't know. Anyway.
No, it'll work. It'll work, Coach. You have confidence. Right. But anyway, it'll ask you questions about your team. Do you have guards versus bigs? What's the talent level of your team? What's some of your philosophies? What do you believe in? Do you like set plays? Do you like more of a static or a more dynamic offense? And we spent a lot of time getting the algorithm right to determine the offensive type, and we broke down a few offenses that once you answer those questions, we're going to give you the choice that we suggest based on your answers.
It's like Mad Libs, people. It's Mad Libs, It's
like kind of Mad Libs.
You remember those games? Remember, I don't know, maybe you're too young. I remember there were these books that you would read, and then you got to decide which way, the gunfighter would pick a rifle and then you go. Do you remember those books? I love those books. Love those books. I don't know if they make them anymore, but you'd go to 123 rather than 116, and the story would change depending on how you picked. I know. Yeah. So that's similar. You're going to answer questions, and we're going to walk you down the path to the right spot, hopefully at the end.
Yeah, because I think this causes a bit of stress for coaches, but we just want to ease that stress because we've been through this. Like you said, I picked the wrong offense a few times, and if we can guide you so you don't have to relearn, I mean, there's nothing worse, especially when you only have a few practices and you're so set on a particular offense and realize, oh, that's not going to work with this particular team. So,
right.
Anything else on that front, Coach? I mean, again, if you just go to the youthbasketballoffense.com, it'll ask you a bunch of questions to help you decide on a particular offense.
And I will have all those.
Love your
URLs.
Feedback on it as well.
Yes, yes, and let us know what you think about it. Maybe it didn't. It's an algorithm. We're not Netflix. We're not perfect with the algorithm. We'll get it there, though. We'll get it there. Yeah. We'll get it there. But I'll put all those in the show notes for you. So, don't pull the car over, give it.
But just to do a quick recap on picking an offense, though, I think it's just, think about the basic principles. Don't get too caught up necessarily in the offense itself. Make sure you're focused on the fundamentals, and then pick an offense that you think is going to work with what you have on your team, the personnel on your team, the experience level on your team. Do you have one experienced player? Do you have multiple experienced players, right? And the fundamentals will take you a long way no matter what offense you have. And of course, you go to our Facebook group, ask questions ask questions to Steve and I, reach out. Don't get stressed about picking an offense. We're here to help.
Let us guide you.
Yeah.
We'll be your Yoda. There you go. I haven't had a Star Wars reference in a while. Anyway. All right. Till next week, Coach.
All right. Till next week, Coach.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.